Hey everyone, and welcome to the secrets to getting more inquiries from Instagram. I'm so happy that you're here, and if you don't know me already or you haven't read this sign right here, I'm Esther Warman, and I am so happy that you're here and joining me today for learning the 5 secrets to my hand looked kind of weird there. The 5 secrets to getting more inquiries from Instagram. So we have a lot of exciting things to cover today, and I am so happy that you're here. Just a few housekeeping things. What I will say is that on this one pager, you have an opportunity to be taking notes and jotting down. So I've actually set up boxes for each secret number. So as I go through these 5 secrets, I highly encourage you to be typing and taking notes because I've created a page where you can do that and you can reference back to your one pager. So with this one pager, it's going to save once you create an account with your email address, and it'll automatically save. It's not going to cost you a thing. It's just something that's really convenient because as I'm talking through this, you can be taking notes on the same page, which is really cool. And another reason why one pager is the best. So yeah, I'm so happy that you guys are here today, and we're going to start off. I need to say that getting clients from Instagram is not an easy task, and I think that it's something that a lot of photographers struggle with, of wondering like, how can I get my Instagram to convert traffic and to bring me more leads and to get me more booked into my sessions. So yeah, getting clients from Instagram is not easy, and I definitely struggled with this for a long time. Like, I was doing fine with the whole Instagram game, and like I felt pretty confident in it, but I wasn't getting any work, and I couldn't figure out why. So yeah, like as you guys know, like I started from absolute scratch, from nothing. And when I was going on Instagram and whatnot, I feel like it was just, I was going in blind, and I was trying different things, and I couldn't figure out what I was missing. So finally, after about 2 years of trial and error and like hours and hours of research, of me waking up at crazy hours, like 4 or 5 a.m. to be able, because I was just so like, I need to figure out how I can do this. So I learned from so many, like countless different people, and took different strategies, and I tried different things until I came across, okay, I have figured this out of how to get more leads from Instagram. And that's why I'm here to share it with you guys today, is to save you the headache, save you the pain, and any blood, sweat, and tears that I definitely put into it. So that's why I am here to share it with you today, is because of all this trial and error, and I want you guys to be able to get leads from Instagram because it's such a powerful tool. And I think that it's very important that we are all doing these things as photographers. So I'm so glad that you're here, and we are just going to dive in. Basically, we're going to learn the ins and outs of Instagram marketing for photographers, and I want to make sure that you walk away with these 5 secrets gained, and you have that knowledge now, and that you can go out and implement these things and start getting leads from Instagram. Or maybe you're already getting some leads, you're just not getting that many. So after this, then you can walk away, implement these things, and you'll be able to get a lot more leads from Instagram, or start getting leads depending where you're at, what chapter you're at on your photography journey. So basically, the overall strategy is to help you showcase what you have to offer in the world, and in the end, book more work. So what we're going to do here is we are just going to dive in and start going with the 5 secrets. So on your one pager, you'll find first we have the secret number 1 box, and I've put a little thing saying brainstorming and notes here. So as I'm going through it, feel free to be taking notes in there. And since you just have to type in your email, it'll automatically save once you set up a one pager account, and it'll save your notes there. So just start to jot down notes as I'm going through things. So my first secret, so number 1, you can go ahead and start taking notes here, is showcase what you want to book more of. So I know that sounds quite, like obvious, but it's not, because I find that a lot of times people are not doing this. They're like, Esther, I want to book more elopements, or I want to book more family sessions, or I want to book more weddings. Whatever it is that you want to book more of, then you need to showcase that. So What I mean by this is I kind of had a light bulb go off when I was at a workshop. I was very early on into photography. I was just kind of figuring it out. And the only thing on my radar was, I want to be a wedding photographer. I want to be a wedding photographer. I have to be a wedding photographer. And I remember the keynote speaker at this workshop saying, if you want to book more families, you need to be posting only families. Post all about family sessions. That's how you're going to get more traffic of these families being like, wow, it's cool. She's posting all these families. She's obviously the specialist in that area. I have to book her. So that's when a light bulb went off for me. And I was thinking, duh, that's so obvious. But it's not that obvious, because it was like, it dawned on me of like, wow, that's such an enlightening moment. That's why I have to share that today. So whatever it is, I know there's so many different niches of photography. There's weddings, lifestyle, families, boudoir, maybe corporate, maybe headshots, maybe branding, maybe studio stuff, maybe real estate. There's so many different areas that you can specialize in. And I know that it's really, really hard to choose. So all I'm saying is that whatever you want to book more of, you need to showcase that in your Instagram. So your grid needs to be like just showcasing that like you are the specialist in this area and you have something really awesome to offer, and you have put together an irresistible offer for people to come to your Instagram and look at it and go, wow, these are like amazing pictures. I can tell she's obviously the queen of this industry, or he's obviously the king of this industry or this niche. So it's so important that we are doing this with our Instagram, is just showcasing what we want to book more of. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that. For secret number one is make sure that you do this. If you have not niched down yet, I highly recommend that you do this because it's so important that we're showing that we are the specialist in this specific area that we are showcasing on our Instagram. And Instagram's such a powerful tool, and we have to utilize it properly. So that's what I'll say on that, is make sure that you are showcasing what you want to book, and that's how you're going to get more bookings of that specific area of photography. So that's what I'll say on that. Okay, we're moving on to the second box on your one pager. The second box we have is number two, secret number two, and it is called show yourself. And I mean it. As photographers, I get it. We want to be the ones who are always behind the lens. And a lot of times people go into photography and they don't really like being the, one putting on a whatever, like being that like extroverted, like check me out, I want to get all these shots done. And I know a lot of people don't like that, and that's another reason that they love photography, is like, yeah, I get to take all these awesome shots of people and I'm not expected to have to pose or look good or whatever it is. But what I'm saying here is this is such a game changer, especially for Instagram. People want to feel that connection. Like, it's social media. We crave that connection. We want to get to know them. And if you're expecting people to hire you for such a personal service, then you need to get personal with them and show up and show yourself. So the first thing I'll say about showing yourself is that it doesn't need to be a big scary thing getting in front of the camera. Like, I think it's actually good for us photographers to know what it's like to be on the other end of things, for us to be in the client's shoes and be getting our photos done. I think it's really good for us to be doing that. And I found, like, even for myself, like super extroverted person, I was like getting self-conscious in front of the camera. And what I realized was when I hired this photographer, I was looking him up and typing in like headshot photographers, but I wanted like an outdoor lifestyle type scene, and it seemed like he had that going for him. So I had hired him. I'm like, hey, I'm a photographer. I want to get some shots done for my branding. And I had never met him before. He's this guy, like 40-year-old guy or whatever. And so we meet at the park, and he starts taking my shots, and I can just feel like that I feel super uncomfortable right now. And that's not the brand that I'm striving for. So like, I felt super uncomfortable. It felt forced. He was just kind of like, yeah, okay, you look good, click. Okay, let's go over here by this tree. Okay, let's go here. Okay, any other shots you want? And it was so uncomfortable for me. I was just like, oh, like I knew I wasn't going to be happy with the shots, and it wasn't going to represent who I am as a photographer or an educator. So I was just like, oh, like I didn't feel good about those. So then what I had done was I'm like, okay, so Esther, I was like talking to myself. I'm like, this was clearly not a good idea. Obviously, I still paid him. I think I got like 1 or 2 shots out of the whole session that I was actually happy with, that I can use as promotional material or as a get to know me or on my website or stuff like that. So what I realized was, okay, I can't believe I didn't think of this, but I need to make sure that I am hiring someone that I'm going to feel super comfortable with while I'm getting these shots done. So I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but anyway, I'm wanting to share that with you, is make sure, like from my mistake here, because I felt that was kind of a waste of money, that I really didn't think through that of like, okay, who's going to be taking my branding shot? So since then, I have made a point to ask some other friends that are in the photography industry that I feel really comfortable with, or I've asked my family members that I'm super comfortable with to just be, you know, kind of goofy, silly, having a good time and super candid, because that's my style and I need to make sure that my branding shots are speaking to my specific style. So ever since then, it's been a total game changer, and I highly encourage you to make sure that when you are, you know, you want to get these shots, these branding shots done of yourself, which is super important for your business, and make sure that you're doing this. So make a note to find somebody who you are going to feel really comfortable with while they're taking your photos, and while they are, you know, you're frolicking around in a grass field or by some mountains or a lake or whatever it is, whatever is really you want to think of who is going to be the one holding the camera while you're getting these shots done, and are you going to feel comfortable with them? And the second part is, where do you want to get your shots done? What location is really going to speak to your brand and going to fit into your Instagram feed without looking super random or outdated or something that just doesn't really fit into your Instagram grid? So those are a few things to take into consideration when you are getting shots of yourself done. The other thing I will say is get these done often. Like, I'm saying I will get them done. Like, I know this seems like a lot, but I'll get them done like once every 2 months or something like that, just so I have some fresh content, because I like using it for stories, for posts, for my website, for my blogs, for a lot of different reasons. And I like to have a good variety of things. So I have an entire list on my phone of places I have gotten my headshots done at, and also a list of places that I want to get photos of myself done. It's another great opportunity for location scouting when you are not sure on a location for a session you have coming up or some wedding portraits you have coming up, and you're just not sure, you know, of logistic wise and whatnot. It's a great time to go location scouting with, maybe it's another family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's another photographer, something like that. A great opportunity to be location scouting. So I find that there is a lot of value in getting photos of yourself. And then sharing it on your Instagram. So this sounds like a lot, and I know people are going to be like, what, are you crazy? That's insane. But seriously, every 6 photos or so, usually 6 to 8 photos, it'll be me. And then I'll do 6 to 7 more photos of my clients, and then it'll be me again. And I know that sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's going to make a huge difference. So I highly, highly recommend that you do that, or something similar to that effect, just so that people, when they show up to your Instagram and they're like deciding whether they're gonna hire you, they shouldn't have to scroll and scroll and scroll to figure out who you are, what you look like. And when you show up at a session, it's gonna make them feel a lot more comfortable. Like, they already know you, they know what you look like, they've seen you on your stories, they've seen you on posts. So that's what I'll say on that, is making sure that you are showing up and being yourself and speaking to people, and just so that they know who you are and they can feel that connection with you, and that you are scheduling in these content creation branding sessions, because it's so important for your audience to get to know you on Instagram in order for them to convert to leads, because that's what this session is all about, this figuring out how we can convert more Instagram followers into inquiries. So that's what I will say on that. Super important. And I want you to be like really intentional about who you choose and where you want to get these shots done. So that's secret number 2, you guys. We're moving on to secret number 3. Okay. So secret number 3 is be consistent. And I know I sound like a broken record, because you might have heard me already say this on my YouTube channel or on one of my live streams or something like that. Or maybe you've heard someone else say it and you're like, oh, I don't want to put all the work into it and whatever. But trust me, be consistent. Don't just hop on Instagram when it's convenient for you, or you're bored and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to hop on here now. You gotta be consistent, and maybe it's not your favorite thing in the world to do. Maybe you don't love being on your phone all the time. That's fine. You don't have to. I'm not asking you to be on your phone all the time. all I'm asking you to do is to carve out some time in your day that you can go on Instagram and be intentional about it. I typically like to do this right before I'm going to drop a post, because you can hop on there, engage with some people, and then give more than you take. So you're going to give people lots of comments and likes, and maybe you're going to DM some people, respond to their stories. Just engaging. I'll usually do this for like 20 to 30 minutes a day, and then I'll go and drop my post, and then I'll exit the app, because I've done my time and I've put in some effort, and I'm making sure I'm consistent, and I do this every single day because it's so important to be consistent. And I'll make sure that I'm responding to all DMs, I'm responding to comments, I'm liking people's other photos, I'm encouraging other photographers, other friends, other family, maybe some other randoms I don't even know, but I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful picture, like, way to go. Other things like that, super, super important. And I just make sure that I'm really like engaging with others really consistently, because I will tell you, Instagram rewards you for being consistent. So I know sometimes they'll, throw on a shadow ban, or they're going to change their algorithm, or other things like that. But what they always do is they'll reward you for being consistent. So that's where it's super, super important that we are being consistent, and that we are encouraging others, and we're giving more than we are taking. That's what I mean by being consistent. It's not just hopping on and chucking on random photos and whatever. It's like just being consistent and actually participating in everything that Instagram has to offer, and encouraging our other followers and engaging with people. It's super, super important that we are consistent about that. And I know it's not the most fun thing in the world to be on your phone. Well, I mean, I really love it, but not everyone does. But I really, really encourage you to take the time, be intentional about it, and go through there, spend 20 to 30 minutes a day, and it's going to make such a big difference for you. So that's what I will say on that for being consistent. Next up, we are going to talk about secret number 4. So you've got your box there to take some notes. So secret number 4 is utilize Instagram stories. And I can't stress this enough, because stories are such a great way for your audience to get to know you with the behind the scenes and the day-to-day life, and just feeling more of a connection than a really awesome photo that you're putting on your grid, because you want your grid to look awesome and cohesive. But when it comes to stories, it's more of the connection side of things that maybe you are wanting to hop on there and talk to your audience and ask them what they want to see more of, or ask them what location they like best, or maybe just how their weekend's going, or what are their plans. Something that they can really engage with is super, super important when jumping on Instagram stories. And Instagram also, I know I've said when you're consistent, Instagram algorithm will reward you. They also love when you're consistent on stories. So I usually try to encourage about 8 to 12 stories a day, which, yes, I know that's a lot, but you can do it. I just make a goal for yourself to do that. And again, carving out some time in your day to hop on stories. Maybe you don't love showing your face on there, and I've already told you to show yourself in Instagram posts, but showing yourself on Instagram stories is really, really like effective. I cannot believe the engagement that I get when I jump onto stories and I start talking to my audience, or telling them, hey guys, I'm just heading off to a shoot right now, and I've got I've got a bunch of emails to catch up on, but I'm just letting you guys know I'm hopping to a shoot, and I'll be back in the office tonight. Something to just kind of connect with them, let them know what you're doing, and let them in on the behind the scenes type thing. So maybe you're going to film some behind the scenes at your next session and be like, hey guys, check this out. This is one of my all-time favorite poses, and I'm going to show you. So check it out. And you're going to showcase something like that on your story. Really, really effective Instagram stories. They make such a big difference. And what's the first thing people see when they jump onto the Instagram app? Stories. And they're going to continually see your face popping up over and over and over again. And it's going to be so, so effective, because suddenly you're the photographer who's top of mind. You're like on their mind, because when they think if someone's asking for a recommendation, or if someone's like, oh, I'm trying to think of a wedding photographer, my friend just got engaged, and you're going to be the one that they're thinking of, because you're constantly popping up and you're showing up on the Instagram stories, and they're constantly tapping on your face, so to speak. But you know what I mean. So utilize these Instagram stories. The audience loves to see what you're up to for day-to-day life, or behind the scenes, or maybe sharing a hot tip, something that is going to really help build that connection with your audience. And it's so, so important that we are doing that, because our audience wants that. They want that connection. So that's what I will say on that, you guys. Now, we have arrived at secret number 5, and secret number 5 is talking about intentional captions. So I know writing captions can be hard and can be draining. That's the bottom line. It can be. And I've had a lot of people be like, oh, I don't know what to write for Instagram captions. It's just like exhausting, always coming up with things because I want to be posting often. I want to be consistent, but it's just so exhausting being, jumping on there and just always having to, share something. So I totally understand that. And what I'm saying is writing intentional captions makes such a big difference. And I know it's exhausting having to come up with things all the time. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is to batch your Instagram captions. So I like to do it for a week at a time. When I'm feeling inspired, I'll jump on my computer and I'm going to type out a whole bunch of different captions that I'm speaking from my heart and I'm inspired and I'm letting people into my world. So maybe I'm telling them about a funny moment from a photo shoot. Maybe I'm telling them about what I'm up to next weekend. Maybe I'm telling them something I've been really excited about lately. Maybe I'm telling them about something I've been struggling with lately. Maybe I'm telling them about, I don't know, it can be anything as long as it's from the heart and that you're feeling inspired. Just letting your audience into your world is going to make such a big difference, and they're going to feel that personal connection with you when they haven't even met you, which is amazing. That's a huge win. And you're going to have a leg up on any other photographer because they're like, oh, I feel like I know them. So obviously I want to pick them because I feel like I know them and they have awesome pictures. So really, really important that we are really using Instagram captions to our advantage. And I find a lot of people are not doing this. So stop posting, one or two emojis or like, happy Sunday, stuff like that. Like I used to do that all the time. I'm so guilty of it. And that's why I'm telling you, don't do that, because when I switched to writing really intentional captions, it made such a big difference in on Instagram with getting more leads, with getting more engagement, with people writing me so many positive comments or DMs of just like, I love how you're sharing this and you're so inspirational and all these positive things coming my way. And it's such an effective method that we need to do a better job of using. So that's why I'm sharing that for secret number 5. Now, before we go here, I want to just share something from one of my students, Kathy. She had asked me, Esther, how can I grow my Instagram? How can I do this effectively? I want to book more clients because I absolutely love Instagram marketing, but I find that I'm getting stuck. I'm not progressing. I'm not regressing. I'm just stuck. So, I said, you know what, Kathy, I've got about 5 major secrets that I found really were a major game changer for my photography business when I started getting way more leads, and I'm going to share them with you. So I told her the exact same 5 secrets that I just went over with you guys. And afterwards, once she had implemented them, I know it takes some time to implement it and to get things in place, but I remember her being like, okay, wow, these things make such a big difference. I'm so impressed that implementing these simple ideas just made such a big difference. And I was like, whoa, like those, like having her say that just affected me so much, because I was like, wow, awesome. I'm helping people. Like that's the bottom line, is I'm helping people turn their Instagram and get more leads out of it and be able to effectively market their photography business, because there's so many talented photographers out there, but a lot of them just don't know how to market themselves well. And I mean, we didn't get into photography because we love marketing. Maybe some of us fell in love with it along the way, but it's a hard job. So that's why I wanted to provide you with this, getting more inquiries from your Instagram, because I think Instagram is one of the most powerful tools when it comes to online marketing as a photographer. And it's a free tool, and that's the beauty of it too. So, all I'm saying is that it was just so powerful to hear Kathy telling me that it made such a big difference for her when she implemented these strategies. And I'm like, oh man, like I just told her, I said, I'm so happy. Like, thank you so much for telling me that. Like it left an imprint on my heart. And that's why I wanted to share that as well. And she just said, no, like Esther, like I can't thank you enough for these strategies, because it made such a big difference. So, now I'm telling you this because these secrets work. And basically, you might be there, sitting, listening to these things like, oh yeah, like Esther, this sounds great. And, I really enjoyed this video. And then you're going to walk away and go about your daily life and whatnot. And I know life is busy. And then be like, yeah, that was really cool. That was like an awesome training session. That was some cool ideas, 5 cool secrets. And then not going to implement it. But I can't help you then if you're not going to actually implement these strategies. So that's just an example of something I really, really hope is not going to happen with you. And I don't think it will, because I think you're on this training today because you're a go-getter and you are a hustler and you want to make your photography blow up and you want to get more leads. So you're not going to do that. You're going to walk away with this one pager of all these notes that you have saved to your account, and you're going to go and implement these into your Instagram and start bringing the leads in. So that's where I'm saying that this is a practical strategy. Implement these 5 things and you are going to see the results. So one more thing I'm going to share with you before we go is I heard this really awesome quote the other day, and it was 20 minutes of doing something is way more effective than 20 hours of thinking about doing something. And that just really resonated with me, because I find that I have so many different ideas going on and I'll be thinking about so many, but then to actually sit down and get it done is way, way, way more effective. So I find I'm just writing down ideas constantly. I always have different ideas bouncing around in my head. And I find that, okay, I can write these down and then I'll make sure that I slot a time for each of these. Otherwise, they're not going to happen. That's the bottom line. So 20 minutes of actually doing something is far better than 20 hours of thinking about doing something. So let that just sink in for a moment. And that's what I'm going to leave with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me at this training. And I really, really am excited to see where your photography business goes, and that you found value in this 5 secrets to getting more inquiries from Instagram. So you are going to see some awesome results. And thank you so much for joining in today. I cannot wait to get to know you more.